So we are going to be adding an image carousel into our website today. Now, I am currently in live view at the moment, and I need to be in live view to insert this element. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click on the place where I want my element to go inside. So I want it to go inside this table division here. You can see this box selected. I want it to go inside there. So I've got that selected, and I can see my caret down here in amongst this table division. So it looks right to me. And I'm going to go up to the insert menu. I'm going to go down the insert menu to the Bootstrap components section. And fourth one down, we can see we have carousel. This is going to allow us to add in an image carousel. So I'm going to click on that, and I get these four options come up: before, after, wrap, and nest. Now, I want this to go inside my table, okay? I don't want it to go before, and I don't want it to go after. And when we put something inside something, when we're doing web design, we call it nesting. And so I want to nest this inside my table division. So I'm going to click on nest, and that will insert my carousel into my web page. And we can see here the carousel has been inserted, and we've got a first slide heading that you can edit. We've got a first slide caption that you can edit, and we've also got these bars showing us how many different images there are. Now, in order for us to actually add images, what we need to do is we need to come out of live view, and we need to go into design view. So I'm going to go back to design view, and now I've got my carousel here. I can just click on it once. I can right click on it, and I can come down to properties. And just like with anything else, we've got a source for where the image lives for this carousel. Now, it's important that you've clicked on the actual image here where it says carousel and not on the background here, okay? Make sure you've actually selected this center image, right click, properties, and now I'm going to change this source to the source of my image. At the moment, you can see Dreamweaver is just using its own default placeholder image. So I'm going to click on the little folder icon, and we will see that I am in this weird folder location with this carousel placeholder image. Now I want to go back to my documents. I want to go and find my web project, ICT, website, images, exported. And you can see here, I've got 4 carousel images that I've prepared. Spoiler alert, they're not very interesting. So I'm going to click on carousel 1, and you can see it's just a white one. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to press OK. And you can see that this will now have changed to a 1. Now, if I press the X on this and go from design view to live view, we'll be able to actually see this in action. So I'm just going to drag my code section down so we can get a bit more of this web page in. And you can see now that I can click on this arrow and it will change between the different images. Now, this isn't very good at the moment because I've only changed one of the images. So let's update it for the rest. I'm going to go back to design view. I'm going to click on my image here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to get the properties up again. But I can only change the properties for this one image, this first image. I need to get to the images that are behind it. And to do this, I'm going to need to go into the code just a little bit. Okay, so you can see here with this image selected, in the code, I have this image here selected. Okay, this image tag. So it's part of this division called carousel item active. And it has this division here with a heading 5 called first slide heading and a paragraph saying first slide caption. And then you'll notice it kind of has a pattern now. So we've got second slide heading, second slide caption, third slide heading, third slide caption. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for this image tag, but for the second slide. So down here, I'm going to find this image tag here, and we can see I've got this image tag. I'm going to click on this, and this will now select that image that we can't actually see, but we've managed to find it in the code. And it's now changed the properties to be looking at that image. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this folder icon, and I'm going to go to my documents folder. I don't want the placeholder folder. I want to find where my actual carousel images live in exported in carousel 2, and I'm going to press OK. And that will update that image to the number 2. So now if we have a look in live view, drop this down a little bit, we have the number 1, and we have the number 2, and we just have that last placeholder image that we need to get rid of. So we're going to go back into design view. We are going to bring our code back up a little bit. Click on number 1. That will highlight this image tag, and we can see down here the second image tag has our new image, our carousel 2 image. So that's fantastic. Now we have this third image tag here that doesn't have that, so we need to update this one. So I'm going to bring up the properties box again. So I'm just going to right click, press properties, and then I'm going to click on this third image tag. So that's selecting that image. And now I'm going to come up to this folder and I'm going to tell it where I want this to be. Now, instead of going through this, what I could do if I've got a naming convention going on is I could simply get rid of this src in the code here. And I could just copy this. I could paste this down into this image, and I could update this to be carousel 3 rather than carousel 2. And so now I've updated this, but you could also do it in the properties view. Click on image. We could go to properties and we could select it through the folder. I've done that twice, so I thought I'd show you the code version as well. So you can also come into the code and you can edit the headings, or you can edit them as we looked at earlier in the actual designer here. And you might decide that you want to change the color of the text. My text is currently white and it's on a white background, so it's not showing up. And so you might decide that actually, changing the text to black or something is a good idea for these. But that's something you can configure. Now, when I go into live view, I've got a carousel with 3 images on it. And I can scroll through 1, 2, and 3, and I can keep going around, and that's lovely. But you might have noticed in my files, I have a 4th file. So I'm going to go back to design, and we're going to insert our 4th carousel image. Now, this has only given us space for 3. Okay, we've got first slide, second slide, third slide, and then that's it. Now, we need to get this to allow us to have 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the top here, and we're going to see that we have this list. And this is telling it how many slides we have. So what we need to do is we need to copy this bottom one, and we need to paste it in, and we just need to update the pattern. So you can see here it's going 0, 1, 2. So our next one needs to be 3. Okay, so we're telling it we're adding another slide to this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and we're simply going to copy our carousel item division. So I'm going to click on this div. We can see where it starts and where it ends, so I can see how much I need to copy. So I'm going to start from the top here, and I'm going to copy down to this div here, because that's the one it told me to go to. I'm going to copy that, Control C. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to paste that in. So I've added a new carousel item. I've got the source from my previous one, which is carousel 3. I've got a nice naming convention here, so I know I can just update this to carousel 4, and that will work. And the alt text, this is saying 3rd slide, this is going to be 4th slide. And I'm going to update this. Obviously, you would have better captions. You could also just completely get rid of this text if you didn't want a caption. You can just delete it, that's absolutely fine. And now, if it's all gone well, I should be able to go into live view. Should be able to get rid of this code for a second. And I should be able to scroll through 2, 3, 4. I've added in a 4th image in my carousel there. And now I've got a nice carousel. Now, lastly, final thing, I don't want this video to be too long, but this has a gray background, this carousel, and you might not like that. That might not be what you want on your page. And so in a previous video, we looked at how we can update the background of our page to have a certain color. And if I go back to design view, here, what I need to do is I need to go into the split code view. And if you come up to the top, the very top of where this kind of table division is, we can see here that we've got a division. And inside this division, it tells us that it has a style, background color is gray. Now, if instead of gray, we put our hex code, so you can copy this from your image using the eyedropper tool in Photoshop. I've already got it copied on my thing. So I'm going to put in 04AA F7. That is the color, background color of my banner up there. And that will now update the background color of my carousel to a color that fits in with my theme. And now if I go to live view and scroll down, we can see that that color has updated and it's no longer gray, and it actually blends in with the rest of my page.